How are you?
Good, good to be here. Good to be back from where did we come from? London, Paris.
Yeah, London. Yeah, you was
Yeah,
out there for you was out there for like a month and some change, right?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, I was there for 6 weeks.
Yeah, man. And how you feel like being back in New York?
Whenever I come back, I always feel like energized, recharged, focused. Mostly like a weight has been off your shoulders, but then you come back to New York and it's just like, one person's someone's always like a little pebble, just one by one, they start trying to be like, all right, nigga, you was slipping, and they try and put more weight on you. So I'm trying to keep that mindset of like,
Mm,
wow, yeah, I was out there, I was having a good time. Let me stay in that zone.
this is the zone of good time or zone of like focusing and doing your like.
Just like not like how in New York everyone's like rushing to get somewhere.
Hmm.
You kind of forget that that's only a New York thing. When you stay here so long, you think that's how everything is. Like this is how
Yeah.
everyone operates. And then you go to another city or another place for long enough, you go like, oh yeah, this is how everywhere in the world is. I don't have to operate at this speed. And then you come back here and you're like, oh yeah, okay, people hate you. They're like, you ain't moving at the right pace. But then you go like, bro, we don't have to move at this pace. You feel like when you try and tell people about like you living in the matrix, bro. Like if you get up like 30 minutes earlier, you you don't have to rush anywhere. You can
Yeah.
take your time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is interesting you say that because even the way I'm feeling coming back from the from living in Berlin for a year and coming back here is the same way. Like that
Uh,
hustle. You kind of like, oh yeah, that is here.
yeah, this is like insane pace. You don't have to. It's probably not the healthiest thing in the world to be
Nah.
rushing everywhere and like, oh my god, what? You just
Yeah.
fear, paranoia.
Your brain is just constantly just like, in attention. Like
Yeah, is that piss I smell? Why is that guy looking at me? What's going on? What train am I taking? Is this train going the right way? It's like, yeah, more thoughts than you can ever have
it
or
makes
supposed
you
to have.
makes you go crazy a little bit.
I think so, for sure, for sure. New York is designed to make you lose your mind in a
Hmm.
way, but it's also designed to make you think everyone else is crazy, not you. You're like, I know
Um,
what I'm doing. Everyone else is fucked up, so it does that too.
that is true. Yeah, I never really thought of it like that because people do externalize the crazy, but not internalize it.
Yeah, you go. Everyone else is crazy, right? Not me.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, when you're saying that, you're talking to yourself, which is like you are crazy if you're doing that.
Yeah.
But if you catch yourself, like I feel like we should have a timer to time how long we've been in the talking to ourselves zone.
Right.
If you go over a minute, that's when like you're in the red. Where it's like, bro, you need to relax. You need to take a trip. You need to do something.
How long did the timer should be? Like, if you was to put a timer on, like, what's the timer for talking to yourself before it gets too crazy? Like,
If you talk to yourself and you actually like are talking to yourself, when you start doing the like, if you're talking to yourself in your head and you're just like, okay, gotta make a laugh, make it right. If you're doing that, you're good. But if you're actively like, rap battling, that's when it's too much.
oh, with your hands, kind of like, y'all gotta do this, and then this, and then
Yeah,
this,
you're
this,
like,
and that.
did I turn the oven off today? Nah, I think I'm gonna turn it off tomorrow. No, 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 wait, I did turn it off today. Why is he looking at me? What the fuck this nigga looking at? But you realize like, wait, I've been having a whole conversation with myself this whole time. And you're like, that's
Oh,
not good.
okay. When you get lost in the conversation, you move your hands like this. Then it's like, all right, like you need
Like
to chill
you
out.
think there's an active participant, but you're the only participant. You're just there going, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, people look at you like, what the fuck they looking at? Meanwhile, you don't realize you're talking to yourself. So they're looking at you
Mm.
like, this nigga's talking to himself.
And they're like, yeah, why you looking at me for? Why you doing
Exactly.
that? You be like, yo,
Yeah.
they looking at you because you're insane right now.
Yeah. You're like, mind your fucking business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then before you look, you become one of those guys in the corner of the subway car, just like talking to himself, like, "Hey, and then
Exactly.
this and that, blah blah. Did I tie my shoes today? I don't know. Do I even got
Yeah.
shoes on? Like,
Yeah. I
you
remember
know,
I watched that homeless guy do that on the train one time. He had two pins in his ears coming out of each ear. And then he was like spring clean. I'll never forget it. He was like looking at shit. He was like, you know what I mean? And I remember I was like right across from him. And I was like, I don't know what he's doing, but he's figured some shit out. And I remember he was the first person I ever saw that, like, I didn't know you can open the subway window. And he opened the window and was throwing shit out at the same time. And I was like, yo, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And then later on, I was like, oh yeah, that's also how fires start on the train tracks. But he was like, "Oh, man, he was like looking around for other people to agree with him, and I was like, This is how I knew I was like, I might be a little fucked up. I was agreeing with him. I was like, I don't know what you just said, but I fuck with it.
You had nodded back like, I understand.
Yeah, I was just like, he was in it. I was kind of like, yeah, man, yeah, fuck yeah, you
Yo.
figure that shit out. He's like, 2 ears, 2 pins sticking out his ear
You
straight.
talking about actually like pens, like you write
Pins, you
something.
write with a pen, a big pen in each ear, sticking out like he was the kazoo from the Flintstones.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was like, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Yo.
And I was like, yeah, I see what you're saying. Cut that shit out. You don't need that.
At that point, you gotta agree, or else you'll be an op, right? If you disagree,
Yeah, I couldn't be like, no, man, sit your ass down.
you might take one of them pins out his ears and try to stab you with it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
he got the tool and try to.
The pen is mightier than the sword. But that's kind of what coming back to New York does. It's like, oh yeah, this is like rampant homelessness.
Yeah, and visceral too. Like you know, because homelessness is there in Berlin, but not like this. This one is like
there's homeless people everywhere. But here's where you go, wow, this is another level right here.
Yeah, you like this is kind of concerning, you know?
Yeah, is he dead? Someone give this man a kick, please. A nice little tap.
Yeah, a little nudge. I'm not gonna do it, but somebody should do it.
It's the kind of homelessness where they're not asking for anything. And that's when you go, well, that's not good.
Yeah, because this city is expensive. Are you sure you don't want something? Like, what's going on?
He's like, no, I'm just trying to sleep here. And you go, fuck.
Yeah.
Other cities, they ask. They're like, they have a sign. They sit there. You don't want to get anything, they don't bother you. But here, like, sometimes they're just like, they're not even asking. And you go, okay, can we help this man?
Right.
He's not even asking.
Sometimes they demand, you know?
Yeah.
That happened recently. I had to like mentally, because I've been away from New York City so long, I had to mentally get back to it. Like it was me and a friend, we're going to the store, and the lady just came and she's like, please, can I get grape soda? I need some grape soda. Can I get grape soda? I'm like, hey, yo, what the I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? You say a hi, hello. You just made a specific demand for a drink, and a drink I hate at that.
Yeah.
So you're like, I need grape soda. I'm like, hey, yo, like, hello, how you doing? My name is, your name is? Like, it was just very direct. And even when we're shopping in the deli, she was still like staring like making sure, and then she opened the door. She's like, "Are you gonna get grape soda? You gonna get grape soda?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yo, I am browsing."
She's one grape soda away from her master plan. She's like, "I figured out time travel, nigga. Give me it starts with grape soda.
I just need enough carbonation and 3% grape juice."
You come back out. You're like, "Here's black cherry." I said grape. Fuck, nigga, you black colorblind. You can't read.
Smack the shit out of me. Yeah. I'm just now traumatized. I'm never coming back.
I had a lady stop me. Well, earlier this week, it was an old Indian lady with like the head covering. And she was like, food, the food. And I was like, we were outside of deli and I pointed and she was like, money. I was like, well, bitch, make up your mind. What is it, food or money? Come on. I just walked away.
Yeah, it's like you being indecisive. Come on.
Yeah. She stopped me. And already I knew my New York census was down was when I stopped.
Oh.
I was like, oh yeah, I've been out of the city too long.
Yeah, so you stop and like, huh? You like,
yeah, you got me. Yeah.
You gotta keep on going.
Yeah.
But so you grew up in LA though, like you from LA
I grew
originally.
up in LA, yeah.
Yeah, and like how was LA like in terms of like just that in comparison to New York City, you know?
LA is not as the homelessness is probably worse there. Now, I think when I was a kid, it wasn't I don't know if it was as bad, but homeless people there now in downtown LA are definitely worse than I would say here. But I think people are like, it's better to be homeless in LA, which I do agree with, because the weather's better.
Warmer, yeah, definitely.
Because like, I don't know, I feel like there's bum seasons where it's like, there's seasons where you see homeless people, and then there's seasons where you go, what happened to them? You know what I mean?
Bum season.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying homelessness is seasonal. I'm just saying there's certain seasons where like you don't see them as much outside. Like they might be on the train,
right?
But there's just I don't see them as much. But in LA, I see them all the time.
Oh,
so
right.
that's pretty bad now. But growing up in LA versus here, it's not as diverse. There's like Mexicans, blacks, whites, Jews. That's probably about really Armenians. It's not like here. There's like everything here. It's like, what you mean you never read a Reach Reading before? It's like, nigga, I don't know. But it's not. You're not everywhere. You know? It's like here, New York, and for whatever reason, Minnesota or something like.
Minnesota, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, Minnesota.
Like Somalis and shit like that. More spacious, not as integrated as here. I would say like LA is like a loose collection of neighborhoods, while like New York City is a is a city where it's like you can see every type of person on the train.
Mm,
Like you just get on the 7 train, you'll see every type of human being,
yeah,
and you go, "This is crazy that all these
everybody.
people live in the same neighborhood."
Mhm.
Um, Gangs were worse when I was a kid there. They're not as bad now. Here in LA. So that's gotten better.
Mm.
Yeah, that's much better. Um,
Yeah, 'cause the gang life out there. That's one thing that every time I talk to somebody who's from LA and I talk to them about like gang culture, it's
yeah,
like it's not even like a separate thing rather than it being like an integral part of like the city or
yeah,
something. Like it's to the point where like your teachers, the mailman, the who like
yeah,
it like integral people in society are also part of like gang culture.
yeah.
To like it's not even like it's like a weird like I don't know balance it got out there or something.
I mean, yeah, it's like I guess they have gangs here, they have gangs anywhere, but there it's like shoot on sight, like type like don't wear certain colors, don't wear any hats.
Yeah.
Like that was the rule that they had always for me was never wear any hats. Don't wear Chucks unless they're black. But even then, I mean, just don't wear Chucks. Period. They don't have fucking support for your feet. But
Yeah, they're very bad orthopedic wise.
yeah, gangs was a big thing when I was growing up, and now not so much anymore. I think like there's still gangs,
Mhm.
but like it's not like when I feel like when I was a kid. And it could be just when I was a kid. I was a kid, so I was maybe more intimidated by it. But like I've come back from New York since, and I remember I was gonna walk up the street or something. My brother was like, "Don't walk up the street. They're gonna shoot you." And they just shot someone around the corner the other day, and I was like, I don't know. At this point, I'd probably been hanging out with niggas from gangs out here, so I was like, "I'm gonna be fine. I'll be all right."
Yeah.
I walked up the street. I don't know, but I was like, I guess I get it because in LA it's much more. You're in a car and
Mm.
you check a citizen app, and like the danger isn't always necessarily right in front of you. Like in New York, the danger is right in front of you. It's like, nigga,
Yeah.
me and the danger are getting off at the same stop. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Same
Yeah,
stuff.
like we both going the same way.
Yeah,
So
express, you know?
yeah, we both going express, and but there I get it. It's more like car bubble, house bubble,
Mm.
and here everywhere you go, there's just like it's craziness everywhere.
Yeah, and then that whole integration with like the craziness with the regular people, not regular people, but like people that are not as crazy, and like people that live in, like from the highest to the highs, lows to the lows, all in one car. It's like crazy.
Yeah, you just hear your fight or flight is actively always on.
Hmm.
You're always like this, or the thing I notice is you can't see my foot, but it's like the foot tapping. A lot of this going on. Like if you look at
Mm.
people's legs, a lot of bouncing. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And
yeah,
you
I
see a
never really
lot of
noticed that.
yeah, here in New York, you see that all the time. Just people like doing this. That's why fidget spinners were so fucking big here. It was like or Candy Crush is a way to zone out and shit like that. And like yeah, I mean, you're just actively always dealing with like what's the next situation. Like the trains, like when it rains here, it basically floods now.
Yeah, what's going on with that? That's crazy.
I mean, New York City's it's not supposed to be here, and it's fucking flooding, and there's no infrastructure to stop it, and the mayor's stealing money and shit like that. And but shout out, I know a lot of people hate the mayor for stealing money, but let me tell you something. If I was mayor, I'd steal money too. I'm gonna be completely honest. They're like, "Oh, can you leave the mayor stole money?" It's like, nigga, yeah. I worked a low paying job. I'm not saying
Yeah.
his job's low paying, but
Right. I mean, in comparison to what he's getting, shit, you might as well.
I'm just saying I worked at like fucking like jobs where they pay like minimum wage was like $14, and then the job paid like 7.25.
Wow.
Yeah, when I work jobs like that, I'm like, I just so you know, I'm still $32 an hour.
He's like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna I'm gonna do it.
yeah. Someone they're like, the mayor's stealing money. I'm like, hell yeah, he's stealing money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, look, man. I
he's a
mean,
cop.
he's a cop. Look, I mean, look. Just to pivot to the mayor thing, might as well talk. We're in New York City, right?
Yeah,
That I don't know all the detail. I know he just stole. There's a
yeah,
lot of other multinational people that are involved with it, and that I think I was talking to Steven or something the other day, right about it. And it's like, look, man, eh, to have $1 million put in front of you or something like that,
yeah,
it can change. You gotta have like some fortitude in your brain to process that as a thing I'm not gonna take.
yeah,
If you don't have that fortitude in there, somebody give it to you, like, I mean, you're gonna take it, especially if it's not like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like it's formalities. It's kind of like, "Hey, yo, here's a million right here." You can be like, "Yo, I'm touching a million."
Well, it's also that, and then everyone else around you is taking it. So even if you don't take it, everyone else is like, nigga, if you don't take this money, yeah, we gonna find out something about you.
Yeah.
Like, cause if we're stealing and you're not stealing, everyone's like, I don't trust you now, nigga.
Yo, that's like some hood shit,
Yeah.
right? You gotta be in. Oh.
It's like, if we all out here committing a crime,
yeah.
and you the one nigga, even if you didn't shoot nobody, I'm taking a gun and putting it in your hand
Yeah.
and being like, we in this together.
That is some, yeah.
Nothing to make you feel more uncomfortable like than a bunch of other your like, you know, subordinates stealing. They're like, yo, Eric, you gonna get a piece of this? And he's like, nah, dog, I'm good. Like they want him to do the Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't take that ride. And they're like, nigga, you taught me how to do this. What you talking about?
It's like, get your ass in the car. What you talking about? Come on,
you taking this money.
Yeah.
And we gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah, you're gonna put it right in your hand. They're probably gonna do that thing where they're gonna just like they're doing it. They're like, oh no, I'm good. They're like, nah, you good now. I'm gonna put it in your hand.
I'm the police commissioner. What you think? Like, we doing this together.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you talk. Yeah, you gonna take this. That is a good point though. Yeah, he had to.
Yeah, I mean, he had to. I mean, there's no winning in that situation. The only thing the police commissioner had to resign. It's not like he could go, hey guys, the police are corrupt. The police commissioner was like, yeah, nigga, we're still in together.
Yeah,
like,
we all here.
We all in this. You can't go to it was one of those, again, I don't like Eric Adams, but in that situation, I mean, I think I would have stole too. I'd be like, look, everybody was stealing. What you want me to do? Not steal?
He wasn't stealing right though. That dude was just he was just outside, yo.
He was stealing. It was just like people didn't like him. Well, he's a cop, first of all. Nobody likes cops. Right. And then on top of that, this is what I'm saying. If you're gonna steal, you gotta share the wealth. You can't be stealing and hoarding it and being like, we're gonna raise the fare. It's like, nigga, you stealing money. Like, just let us steal too. How you gonna get mad at me for doing what you doing?
It's like you out there with French Montana. Like, yo, let us like party a little bit.
He's like, can you believe these motherfuckers are trying to evade the fare? $290. It's like, nigga, you stole $1 million.
Yeah, nigga, I'm stealing just like you. I want to be like you want to grow up.
How you get mad at me for hopping the fare $290? And you getting Turkish airline flights.
That's wild. And I saw like I don't know, I was on TikTok seeing a person that's going through the whole affidavit or whatever. Yeah. And like, yo, it was egregious. Like very like kind of very open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like too open. It was kind of like, yo, you're not doing this right.
Well, for him, again, he went from, was he police commissioner?
I think so.
To mayor, it's like...
Or borough president of Brooklyn.
A borough president of Brooklyn, but it's like, again, the reason he won, which is crazy to think, was Eric Gardner happened, and they were like, you know, they killed him, and then we were all like, we need a black mayor, and then they nominated him, but then it's like, well, the problem was it was police brutality. It's like, how you go from we need a black mayor to a cop mayor? And it was like, yeah, a cop will make the city safer, and I'm like, cops don't make anything safer. Like,
it's like the whole reason why it happened was this thing that happened.
It's like saying a garbage man will get rid of like fucking like will heal the ozone layer. It's like they come after the fact the trash is already made. It's too late by then. They just clean it up. And that's what policemen are. It's like they come after the crime is committed. There's never been a time you've seen a crime being ready to be committed and a cop was there being like, halt. It's never happened. You got to call them afterwards and be like, hey, somebody shot somebody. Yeah. And like, all right, we'll see if we can come by.
Yeah, once in a while, it might be somebody there, right place, right time. But otherwise, it's still...
I don't think there's ever been right place, right time. I mean, even when, like, beyond this, with, like, the shit in Texas, the shootings in Texas happen. They call the cops. They go, there's a guy here with a gun. And they go, all right, we'll be there. And then they're there, and then they wait, like, an hour, and 15 more kids get shot, and then they go in.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's a myth. It is a myth that the cops are there and they're gonna halt crime. Yeah. More police are gonna stop crime. It's just like it's a big myth and it's like perpetrated by the police. But it's for him, he's like, if I'm stealing and I'm the cops, who's gonna catch me? Me? Like that's what he's thinking. He's like, I'm a cop.
Damn, that's why he's probably so egregious with the whole stealing. Like he's just like, yo, who's gonna stop me?
We all doing it.
Right.
Who's gonna catch us? Who's gonna stop us?
I'm not gonna lie. Did he have the earring before he became mayor or after?
I don't know. I think that might have been after.
Because that earring, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now I sound very like I sound like a conservative person, but like I ain't gonna lie. When I saw like the indictment thing happen, I saw his face with the earring. I was like, man, you took that shit.
Oh, of course.
I ain't gonna lie. The way you like, I mean, you just a cop mayor with the earring. You know, I don't know. One thing if you came like from that type of elk or whatever, you came mayor by some crazy means, but to be a cop commissioner, right?
Yeah.
And have all that and then have errands after, it's like, all right, you trying to live a life to the fullest before you get caught or something. I don't know. It's like you trying to
Yeah.
live a second life. But that's the visual I got. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that now that I'm glad we kind of talked about it because like when I came here, that was like the thing. And
Yeah,
that was
everybody
like a
hates them.
saga.
Everybody hates. I haven't seen them. I mean, they didn't like De Blasio. They didn't like Bloomberg,
Mhm.
but Bloomberg was at least rich, and so he was doing rich people shit, where he was like, "We gotta get rid of these big gulp sodas. That's what's killing these youth. It's all these fucking diabetes." And it's
It's like,
like,
ah, it's okay, yeah.
was just like, let me have this. And they
Yeah,
didn't like him either, and then they
right.
didn't like De Blasio. But this, I feel like, is the most hate I've ever seen, where people are on the rat side over the mayor side.
That's
That's when you go,
wild.
yeah, you're taking the rat side over the mayor.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's okay. That's serious.
yeah,
Damn, I miss a lot since being away from New York, yo. It seemed like, yeah, it's
yeah.
like you
The
had to
hate,
live here to like really experience what was going on. Like everything's expensive, the rent is expensive, all this
yeah,
stuff is crazy. The indictments, just it's like a lot.
yeah. Diddy, all that kind of crazy stuff is happening.
Diddy, I mean,
Yeah,
that is a whole different thing right there. That I mean, and it's crazy because when you seen it from afar, not being in America, and then coming here, it's just like a different like viewpoint where you're just kind of like, damn, it was crazy over there. That's
well, he
wild.
was going to Harlem right before he got arrested. I don't know if you saw that. He was just like
Yeah.
pulling up in the streets of Harlem, and you go, "This might be the most gangster thing I've ever seen."
Yeah, he's in I think he's in Central Park or something like that. They had a picture of him.
He was in Central Park, but he was like going literally to the streets of Harlem after everything came out.
He was just like, let just one last time. Let me just see my homeland one more time.
I think he was just like pulling up to show people he ain't afraid. And like, what are you gonna do? Like, that's the gangster move, is to be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
fuck niggas. So what? What you gonna do about it? Like, pull up to Harlem. You want to do something about it? Let me hear you say no Diddy to my face up here.
Yo, just to say no
Yeah. What's up? I'm out here in the streets of Harlem, and nobody.
Oh shit! Say no.
Let me hear that shit.
Say no, daddy to my face.
Yeah,
That's
it's crazy.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean,
He
yeah,
knew he was going to jail too. That's the thing.
that was actually trending in Germany, which is hilarious.
What, did he?
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's trending all over the world. Like, he is a billionaire, and for a billionaire, like, to
yeah.
go down that way, and then also like, whoever thought? I didn't think Diddy was not only a rapist, but a pedophile and sodomist. I wouldn't have. Who knew he was telling us all along with the bad boy? I didn't really, because remember, we would grow up. He was a soft rapper.
Yeah,
He was the nice guy. Suge Knight was the one who was like, "You better be afraid of Suge Knight." And then he
Right.
comes to it, you're like, "My God, Diddy was
He was crazy.
diddling everybody.
Di-
He was a fucking
He's a diddler.
the doo-wop Diddy boys."
The do wop Diddy boys,
He had 'em out
aka
here.
Bad Boys.
Yeah, man. You go like, wow, what did he? Man, he must have. They're going through it now. Like, they're like, what did he do to Usher? And they're like, what did Usher do to Justin Bieber?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of these like documentaries, like what even Dan Schneider, what for the Nickelodeon,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's like my childhood is being melted by like these things that are being found out, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, yo, what can I be nostalgic about anymore? Because it's like everything is just being melted by like just pure like just shit that's happening.
The only hero I have left is Charlie Brown. That's it. He's the only one that has not
I mean, hold your breath. Don't
been
hold your breath.
molested. I hope Snoopy hasn't touched
No,
anybody.
Snoopy might sniff that ass.
Yeah.
Dogs sniff asses. So
That's allowed. You can sniff an ass if you're a dog, but
oh,
as
so with
long
dogs,
as-
okay.
yeah, why couldn't Charlie Brown hear his teacher?
Nah,
That's
I
what-
don't
What
know.
was she saying to Charlie?
Ooh, they was editing that shit out.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, that's still the biggest story, I think, is Diddy out here in New York. That's like,
Yeah, because I mean, every day is like something new. I'm watching TikTok. It's every day something like.
well, he's in jail here,
Yeah, he's in jail. The
And then-
bond got denied. There's like a 5 mil,
50 million,
50 million.
which is crazy because it's like, that's how I knew he was guilty, was he offered 50 million, which is like, nigga, you don't start with 50 million.
That's a high amount to start with. Where
But-
you go from there?
That's what I'm saying. He offered, he was like, here's 50 million. I don't think they said it at 50 million. They were like, nigga, we can't let you out if you offering this kind of money.
Hell no, it would look bad on the courts if they if they took
Like
that.
50 million. He's like, I know what the Eric Adams price is.
The Eric Adams deal.
Yeah, and then we had the guy at our show talking about it. He was the United States, the attorney guy that was at our show talking about he's prosecuting the Diddy case.
He was at your show.
He was at the show you were on.
What? You talking about? He's not playing music. He just happened to
No,
be.
he's in the crowd.
What?
Oh, maybe you were upstairs, but
Yeah.
he was telling him and his girl was telling us actually, which was even more wilder. But yeah, he's out there in Brooklyn right now, Brooklyn Holding. So you get
Whoa.
off that B-52, you can go.
Doo-doo.
Yeah, I got an album for you.
Hey, yo, come listen to my mixtape, man. I can help you out.
Yeah, they say he's not eating right now. He's on suicide watch. He's not eating.
I mean, bro,
I
dude.
think someone might poison his food or something.
I mean, after all the stuff that came out, like all the things he did to all the people he did it to, because some of those people too are like,
A lot of them are dead now.
yeah, I mean, they're dead, but I mean, like, just imagine the thought of like the people, like Biggie Smalls, all these people,
Oh yeah,
I mean, people alive like Loon, Shine,
yeah,
even Craig Mack, right?
yeah. Craig Mack died.
Which they didn't do Black Rob, right?
Yeah,
Who died too, no health support, nothing. I mean, like, there's a lot of influential New York people that like we found out on the back, that people found on the back end that was done dirty, and then now he's there. It's kind of like, yo, these are people I grew up to, like,
yeah. Black
this.
Rob joined the mob. Ain't no replacing them. Niggas step up. We just macing them in funerals. You're like, yeah, Black Rob. And then later on, you go, why was Rob so black? Why didn't he get any love? Yeah.
That shit crazy. So I think, yeah, he might get. I don't know. He might get touched.
Yeah, I think it's more just like someone powerful is like, he's got to go if he's going to flip on them. Because it's like, I
Mm,
don't know, if he's in billionaire status,
yeah, it's gonna be some. Yeah,
it's
you gonna
like,
rub hands with somebody.
who do you give up? Like, I mean, everyone's talking about Jay-Z. Like, what did Jay-Z do? And all of
Mm.
that. That's what the next thing is. They're like, what did Jay-Z do? And Jay-Z's his business partner and yada, yada, yada. You're like, yeah, what did Jay-Z do?
You know what's crazy though? It's just like, I mean, like, all this, like, it's good that it's all coming out. And I'll be thinking in my mind, I'm like, yo, what is gonna be left for my brain to be nostalgic about? Because like it seems like every 5 to 8 years is being
Yeah.
deteriorated by something coming out, like that you be like, yo, what?
Yeah.
It's like there's no way I can mentally go back and reminisce about, every step I take.
Yeah.
I can't. That's a
Every
good song.
move you make, I'll be watching you. Yeah, I bet you will.
I-
With them cameras in the house and the baby oil.
And
Yeah.
exactly, thousands of it.
Yeah.
So now every song you listen to, every lyric, you're like, wait. What was this? Every
Yeah.
step I take. Whoa, you watching steps?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I feel like, honestly, I feel the opposite. I feel like what's happening now is really good.
No, I agree. It's good. I'm just saying, like, from a,
No, I just feel like it's good that it's wiping that, I don't want to say nostalgia off, but it's wiping that, like, the childhood out of your eyes. Like, how you get up in the morning, you're a kid, and you always like got some in your eye, and you're like, you don't even know what the
yeah.
fuck it is. But it's like that's what it was. It was just a bunch of lies. And it's good that we're now waking up to, like, these industries were just big fronts for sex trafficking. Remember when we thought like you look online, they'd be like, oh, Wayfair sex trafficking children. You're like, no, the music industry is sex trafficking. Hollywood is sex trafficking children.
Yeah.
And the Amanda Bynes was the couch. It was like the way they sold it to you was crazy. And that's why I'm like,
Crazy.
I used to wish to be on Nickelodeon.
All of us did.
And now I'm like, thank God.
Oh my God. Like the Hidden Temple, the this and that, whatever, the game
Yeah.
shows.
Double Dare.
Double Dare. Who would have thought
Yeah.
was the main dare in that, right? That could have been that could have
Double
been.
dare you to stay alone with Dan Schneider for 15 minutes. You're like, whoa, this is crazy that they were doing this. It's wild.
Oh, I double dare you. You have to do it now.
Yeah. And then like all that shit to happen to you. And then like 20 years later, someone's like, all right, we're gonna make a show out of this. You're like, nigga, don't make this is how I got here.
Yeah, it's like, I'm trying to still rebuild myself. Like now
Yeah.
this is out again. Now what they gonna be cast? Now any character I play, oh, that's the person who got so and so done to them. You can be like, I'm trying to be policeman number 5. Can you at least let me be policeman number 5? No, that's that dude that got, in so and so place. So yeah, I bet booking a gig now would be so difficult. Because like you're gonna be just known as a person that was a victim. Which I mean, great that you got your
Yeah.
justice, but then to what at that point can you separate yourself from those from that like not fallout, but from that like knowledge of what happened to you and like it being out in the public, like in a documentary form. Like Amanda Bynes,
Yeah.
what can she act in aside from herself and what has happened to her? Like, can she even play a character to where somebody be like, okay, yes, you are a superhero.
Well, I always thought when I was a kid, I remember my friend told me this. He works in the industry, and I was talking to him about kid stars, and he was saying this is I want to say 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. He was like, "What do you think is happening to all these kids that's making them all go crazy?" And I remember Dave Chappelle actually said this in one of his interviews. He's like, "These are strong people." He's like, "What do you think's happening to make people crazy in this
I
industry?"
remember this. Yeah.
But my friend said that to me. He's like, "They're all children." He said, "So you mean to tell me Amanda Bynes just goes crazy, Lindsay Lohan goes crazy, Drake Bell, all these people are just going crazy, and they're children.
Yeah.
Kids just don't go crazy. I mean, even people on the street just don't go crazy." And I remember, like, something's happening that's turning these people out to make them, Justin Bieber. Like, Justin Bieber didn't find God for no reason. You know what I mean? He wasn't, fucking Hailey Bieber and was like, damn, this God is at the bottom of her pussy. It didn't happen like that. Something happened. And he was like, I gotta get away from these demons.
Yo.
I'm just saying, it's like,
oh shit.
this is what's going on out here. I'm finding out, through various outlets. Like, I watched last year, I watched the Nickelodeon, like the nice one, the reminiscent, like, oh, remember Hey Dude and how we built Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
That was the one on Hulu. And then they did another on HBO Max where it's like all these kids were getting molested. And you're like, I still have the nostalgia of loving these TV shows and loving all these things that were created, but I don't have I just don't have the what's it called, like the blinders on anymore.
Right.
Like a horse can still run the race. Like they don't want them to see what else is around them. But a horse can run without blinders.
Right.
But when they run on the track, they put blinders on them. And like maybe now we're in a better place where there's no more like separate the art from the artist.
I mean, of course, yeah.
I mean, no one's saying that with Diddy. No one's ever like separate the art from the artist. They're like, well, his art kind of sucked actually. So
Yeah, we're kind of like, oh, he's there just as a means to an end.
Yeah, he was a piece of shit. We didn't like his movies. We didn't like his music.
Even before that, yeah, it was always kind of like, he just he has to be there,
Yeah, so maybe I think it's a good thing because it's like now we're all waking up to, what the fuck did happen to Britney Spears? To make her shave her head off and dance in front of a mirror like she's 14, she's now like 44 and shit. And you're like, it's good to know these things so that going forward, people act better.
Yeah.
Like I always hate when people talk about like, oh, these kids today, they're so soft and yada yada yada. And I go, but that's kind of a good thing, is that we're becoming better people. We are becoming more sensitive, and we're not gonna have another Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or Bill Cosby.
Right.
Or, Diddy.
Yeah. I mean, the entertainment, the culture of entertainment is something that's like, it's always like, I can't even, it's always like, it's sad, to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have these aspirations to be in these positions, and now we're hearing about these things that have happened, and these positions are like actually dangerous, right? Because you put in these positions with people that are like preying upon you on some other, like, not even to just take advantage of you, like monetarily. I mean, that's the surface. That's surface level. That's like, hey, look, you're asking to be here, so we're gonna exploit you. Yeah, you know that. Right?
I'm gonna steal your money. That guy's gonna fuck you in the ass.
Son, and that it's now the culture is sad. I was just thinking about it, like with entertainment, right? That like in terms of how an artist, even before and still a little bit now, of like how they want to get into the industry. I think with artists is that we still live in this world. We still want to be picked, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of puts us in this precarious position of people, like, let's be serious, picked by people that are at the top or at a place where we want to be above us.
Right.
And it kind of puts us in a difficult position to where, like, you're in a vulnerable position because you want to be picked. You know, even we in the most autonomous like era ever, where you can do your social media, you can like you can do your own thing and be all right. But it's still that thing in an artist's psyche of like wanting to be picked by some institution or some like greater thing above them. Validated. Yeah, and it's sad, because then it kind of allows these incestuous things to possibly happen. Because you just like, even you making all the money. There's some people that like making money, but they want to be selected. Like that's still the thing overarching.
I mean,
validated.
I think it's a human thing. But like, even Beyonce. Beyonce is one of the most richest, powerful people in show business. And Jay-Z gets on stage talking about, and my wife should have won Grammy of the Year. Even she wants to get picked. You know what I mean? Like, even if she wins Grammy of the Album of the Year, it's not gonna, no one's gonna be like, well, maybe Beyonce's talented because she finally won Album of the Year. You know what I mean?
Right.
But even her, she still wants that award because it's like maybe it's symptomatic of how we are here in America. Maybe more so than like, I don't know. I don't think in Malaysia. Yeah, I don't think niggas in Malaysia are really watching the Grammys, being like, do I want to win Best Malaysian of the Year award? But you know what I mean? It's like an American thing. We're like, or Western world thing. Like, I need this person to pick me to validate me, and then I get this award, and I get to go. Look at me now. I'm,
Maybe it's a Western thing. Maybe it's like a Western thing.
I think so.
Yeah, it's not just entertainment, but just a Western thing of being. I agree with you. Yeah, Western thing.
I need a promotion from this guy. I need this person to validate me, or And sometimes you do need that, but like it is like you said. It's never been more accessible now than ever to like make it or do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But it's hard to break out of that mindset of I need permission. Because that's what we've been kind of ingrained with, and then by we, I mean like millennials and stuff. But Gen Z is a little bit different. But like, it's just ingrained to us. You need permission to do things. I need to say something to someone. Maybe from the time you're a kid, you need to ask someone, can I do this? I don't know.
That is, that permission.
Yeah, and then someone gives you something. Hey, you acted this way, you get a gold star. Or, hey, you did this, and you're good. I don't know. I kind of learned it a little bit when I was working with children. I kind of saw how it worked with children and how quickly, like, sort of like negative reinforcement can get into a kid's head, and it just continues through life, if that makes any sense.
I can imagine. Even like just a simple gold star thing, right? Like you did a good job, or reinforcements of behaviors that are in a structure that is like has been predefined. Like, all right, for you to get up here, you need to fit these type of things, and you can't stray away from it, or else, or you just not even from like the teachers or the institution aspect, but just from like a societal aspect, right? Like there's certain ways. And that goes into so many different cultures, right? Like, if you wear the wrong shoes, gang culture, right? Or like, there's so many avenues. Like even the way you look at somebody. We were just talking before this podcast, right? Like you look at somebody in the eye the wrong way.
Yeah.
So you meant to, in this neighborhood, don't look at nobody unless you ready to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like maybe with Diddy, Eric Adams, like, oh, you're going to steal with us? Gold star. Like, this is what I got to do. This is how I fit in. This is how he probably got promoted. You think you think Eric Adams was an angel and he became mayor and he was like, stealing. That's a novel idea. Like he's probably been stealing. He stole his way to the top. I don't even count mayor as the top, but he stole his way to the middle.
Yeah, to the middle.
Yeah. And then, all the stuff happened and politics around it, and they listed him. I don't know if people remember, but I believe when he got backed, Eric Adams was like a corporation, I believe, guy, I think. I think it was either him or it was another guy, I forget, a hedge fund guy that wanted to win. But like, the people who backed him, it wasn't like the streets was backing Eric Adams.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was just like, probably at best it was just like he's about to be a black mayor.
Yeah, but that's slowly running out too. Like, the whole I'm black. Like he was at did you see the press conference where he was like all those black people around him and the guy was yelling at him?
No,
and he was like, this ain't a black thing. He said, you're a thief. Blah, blah, blah. And there was a guy, an older black man there wearing like the kufi. Yeah. And he was rethinking his life. He was like, yeah, this nigga telling the truth. Because somebody was yelling at him on a bullhorn and Eric Adams was just sitting there smiling like an idiot. Like, he does that thing, he speaks, but he doesn't, he sounds like he just learned how to read.
Yeah, so he's blinking, kind of like, very...
He looks like he's lying all the time.
Yeah, he always like, nothing's happening right here. It's like a psychopathic kind of like, it's like,
So the city, listen, the lawyers got to do what they got to do, everybody. And you're like, nigga, you are guilty. Yeah, it's like, you can't even, you a cop, and you never learned how to beat interrogation or not incriminate yourself. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Man, even when I see the post too, I'm just like, all right, it's But you said the guy with the kufi was like sitting next to him?
He was like 3 people away, and he just started looking, and you could tell he was like, this ain't right. He said, I shouldn't be up here. This man is a thief. And he's like, you could just see him regretting his decision. Like, damn, I can't believe this is where we're at. Like, you know, because it's like, you know, anybody could steal, but when, especially, you know, there's somebody that's like, you know, he's stealing because he's black. You know that?
Of course.
So, like, when black people commit a crime, there's always, like, that extra pressure of, like, you know, he did it because he's black.
Man, like,
We had 2 white mayors. They didn't steal. I'm just saying. I'm not saying de Blasio was good, and I'm saying Bloomberg was good, but they didn't steal. It's the fucking Moulignons. You know what I mean? Every time they get their hand, you know, they can't. What are they gonna do? You know what I mean? It's not like that. I'm not a racist guy.
You just put 2 and 2 together, and then, you know, you just.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, this is what it is. You know, black and stealing.
Yeah, let me tell you something. My grandmother, she was fucking. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking racist, but you know, she's a fucking Moulin. You know, it's in their blood. What do you want me to say?
Hey, what do you want me to say? It's been going on for years. You know.
God rest her soul. You know, I got a black girlfriend.
You know, bless her soul.
Yeah, but I don't leave my shit out around her. You see what I'm saying? You can't leave candy out in front of a fucking black person.
Can't kill candy in front of a moolie. You know?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like leaving a banana out in front of these people. Excuse me. I'm not racist.
Hey, you know, hey, I'm not racist. Come on. You know?
And the next thing you know, they got this Kamala broad. You're like, oh, okay, all right.
Come on, you know, she thinks she's the fucking future.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah.
You think Eric Adams is going to do that? What's she going to do? I'm not racist. Come on, I'm not racist.
I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. You know, father's black, and then, you know, the Indian part, I don't know. That might save it.
Yeah, West Indian, that's blacker than black. I mean, God forbid, you know what I mean?
That's Indian black.
Yeah. I don't want to get political.
I don't want to get political. I'm just saying, you know.
So, yeah, so who knows? Like, this is all good. All the uncorruption of everything is kind of being uncovered. I don't know what they call it, Age of Aquarius or whatever the fuck it is.
Age of Aquarius, what's that?
I don't know. They always say, like, we're entering different ages, like, as people.
But
like,
Aquarius? That's like with the signs? Like a water sign?
I think so. Something like that, where it's like we're waking up to what's going on in the world.
Wow, I never heard this.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit. I'm a super conspiracy theorist. I look up all these things.
Oh,
I'm a super conspiracy theorist.
This is funny.
I'm a super conspiracy theorist. I believe every conspiracy, like I'll believe whenever someone tells me something now on TV, my immediate thought is to go where I know they're lying, but someone on the internet knows the truth. Where is the truth?
Wait. This is funny knowing you. I don't know why. I would never assume by you saying it. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm a super conspiracy theorist. I believe every conspiracy. They'd be like, we didn't go to the moon. I'd be like, yeah, that's probably true. We didn't go to the moon.
What the fuck?
Why would we go to the moon? Oh. It doesn't upset me though. Like people are like, oh, we can go to the moon. I believe the Earth is round. I'm not crazy like that.
No. Yeah.
But I believe like I just seen too much on World Star Hip Hop to not believe. I've seen too much. That's the best news source in the world.
The best news source?
If you want to get good news, World Star Hip Hop and Reddit, and that's it.
Reddit, I agree with you. Well,
World Star Hip Hop's number 1.
What, number 1?
Number 1 is World Star Hip Hop.
Oh, so you probably got an account on there.
No, I don't have an account. Don't log in because that's how they track you. But
but who's watching?
Yeah, but definitely World Star Hip Hop has changed my mind about so many things.
What? Hold on, wait. What section you be going to on World Star Hip Hop to
just
find
go to the general, regular browsing videos. Like I remember I found out about COVID, and everyone laughed at me, but like happened in February, March, something like that. I found out about it December 2019. I have tapes of me doing jokes about it, just in case anybody wants to see.
I remember you talking about it earlier.
I have jokes talking about it because I was watching tapes on World Star Hip Hop about the virus in China and about them disappearing people. And I kept talking about it.
Yeah, I remember you did.
It seems crazy.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember you did. I was kind of like, okay.
This nigga's crazy. And I get it. That's what I'm saying. I get it. I know what it sounds like. It's like the story of Noah, where it's like, I'm not saying God was talking to me.
Yeah.
It's just talking to Q from World Star Hip Hop. He was talking to me.
Yeah, World Star.
But it's like, it's kind of like, if you have something on your shoulder and you can't see it, and you're like, there's a bug on your shoulder, all you have to do is to trust me. Your first reaction is go, wait, what did you say?
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that. Like, it's hard to fathom, like, there's going to be this big virus that's going to shut down the world. Something we've never seen before.
Right.
And that's when I learned a lot about human nature when that happens. Like, even when we knew the virus was real, forget about that early. But when we knew the virus was real, and it went from China, and then it went to Italy, I just could see the neglect in people's face in America. We go, well, that shit must be in noodles, because we going to be all right.
Oh, yeah, I was neglecting.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was like right up here. It was in upstate even. And we were still like, oh, well, you know, they don't come here every day.
Yeah, first case was in Seattle. Well, that's Seattle, my nigga. I live in Brooklyn, so I'm going to be all right.
This is upstate. It's like, well, I'm going to go to upstate. You know, I don't even work in the city.
And then you remember when it got to New York. Do you remember this? There was a period where they were like, I heard black people can't get it. And then at the end of it, we were the worst ones to die from it. And that's when I was like, oh, yeah, there's just a human thing.
Yeah.
And you have to let go of, like, just me. This is for me only. I have to let go of wanting to, like, and tell people things or inform people things. Like, some things are just for you to know. And it's okay. Like, nigga, it's trust me, it's better. I'm not saying it's better, but, like, I think it might be better to be looked at, to be with the 50 people and and die than be the one person who's right. It might be better. I'm just being honest. Like, because you got to think about it. Like, imagine you're the one person that knows who Diddy is. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine you're the one person that knows who Drake is. Right. Really knows who Drake is. Mm-hmm. Like, everything he does. And you want to tell the world. But you can't. Because everyone's like, nigga, I love Drake.
Yeah, you'd be shunned.
Yeah, you could not, like...
Yeah, and people have, actually, in these cases.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But it takes another, like, star of that level to be like, he's a piece of shit and everyone. And not only could he just tell you that, he had to make it a song. To where you had to make it catchy. A minor, and you go, must be true, because I'm dancing to it. Must be true.
It was in the stadium, oh shit.
Yeah, that's why when, like, these women come out, nobody believes them. It's like, you gotta use that talent that you were trying to get in the industry with and make it a song. You gotta make it a rap, a joke. That's the only way people can hear it now. Something.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I mean, now when you brought back that code, because even for me, I ain't gonna lie. When this is when it hit me, right? When Idris Elba got sick,
yeah,
I was like, oh.
And that's what I'm saying. To certain people, you need to see Tom Hanks get it. When Tom Hanks got COVID, niggas was like, this is real, bro. This is real, bro.
Oh, that's true. Yo, when Tom Hanks and Idris Elba, I was like, yo, he got it? I was like, oh, shit.
And to certain people, it wasn't real till Trump got it. And I was halfway through it. And he was on there sucking air at the White House. Like, remember when he walked up the stairs and he was sucking air? And that's when it was like, to some people, it takes longer for them to get it. And for a period, I was really mad that, like, people just couldn't believe me.
I remember you being very vocal about certain things, even stocks. Like, you was really into it, like, to where you was investing in some things and stuff. I was kind of like, this is funny. I remember this period of time where you was really into it, and that's all you talked about. I was kind of like, all right, bro. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean,
like, nigga, shut up.
Yeah, bro, you was.
Yeah, that's why I get it. I now looking back get it. It's like, how annoying Noah must have been.
Oh my, bro, I so vividly remember that, bro. 'Cause I remember you was going, you had a lot of, now looking back at it though, I mean, yeah, you was right about a decent amount of that, if not a lot of it.
Yeah, but I think what it was is like, it's not even, the worst thing about being right, like, again, no one wants to be right about a big giant virus killing half the world.
Yeah.
Because it sounds crazy.
Very crazy.
But you almost wish you were crazy versus being right. Yeah. Because who wants to be right about a virus that kills your grandma and your great-grandpa and shit like that? You're like, yeah, I didn't want to. And I talked to my mom about it too, because one guy she works with, he's an Asian guy, and he was buying up all the N95 masks. And then he was wearing them everywhere. And then he told my mom was like, why are you wearing that mask everywhere? He's like, don't you know there's a big virus coming here? And she's like, no, what are you talking about? And she thought he was crazy. Mm-hmm. And I talked to my mom about it later on. She was like, I would never believed him. He told me too. And that's what it's like. Some people need their own Tom Hanks. Like, everyone has their moment where they go, wait a minute, Diddy's a rapist? Like, they just can't, their mind can't get around.
Right.
Because we build up these things in our head where we're like, that can't be right. Like, what do you mean? He's not talented enough to be, you know what I mean? There's something in our heads where it's got to be broken down. So I'm like, I remember there was a lady on the train. I'll never forget it. There's this homeless lady on the train, and she was like, just crazy or whatever. And then she sat down next to me. There was an empty seat, you know, like the bum cubbies at the end. That's what I call those seats at the end. You know what I mean? Because
I do know what you mean.
You see homeless people on that part of the train, and they're just like covered in so many clothes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I like to go like, is that actually a human being, or is that just a big pile of clothes? I don't know.
Shake a little bit, but ooh.
Yeah, there's no winning that game. But
yeah.
She sat next to me, and I remember everyone was looking at me, being like, you know, are you gonna get up? Like, are you gonna walk away from her?
Right.
And I remember thinking like, I could get up and walk away, but if I get up and walk away, I'd only be doing it because of how they looked at me. Like, I'm not getting up because I'm afraid of this lady.
Right.
I'd be getting up because I'm afraid of being sitting next to this lady based on how they're looking at me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here because I don't feel any fear from this lady. Like, not to be mean, but like, I kick her fucking ass. I was just like, and she started talking to me, and she just started telling her story, and she was like, she used to be a stripper, and she like went to some event at World Trade Center, and she talked about this guy at the World Trade Center who did something to her, and I think that's what caused her mind to snap. And you know, she's telling the story, and she told me, look up this guy, and I was like, let me just see if this bitch even. And I looked him up, and it had an actual office in World Trade Center. Yeah, I never forget that moment. I'll never forget that being like, you know, everyone's got something that happened to them, and some of us just don't recover from, you know, like, who knows what this man did to her? Who knows if he gave her fucking cocaine or acid or whatever, and used her and abused her, and then, you know, and all she knows is his name. That's it. And I can't even tell the story and be like, people be like, oh my God, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? They you know, some people just think like, nah, man, I was just some crazy bitch, and you were crazy for sitting next to her. And that's why I'm like, it's not meant for everybody, but it's what happened to me on the train one day that now makes me think completely different about being homeless or being on the street or just anyone in general that's like suffering. Like, you know, Amanda Bynes.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all know this girl's amazing talent.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Britney Spears, amazing talent.
Amazing talent.
But now you look at them, you go like, okay, nigga, what is going on here?
Yeah, you see so many instances. But then that thing you're talking about that block, I don't know, something in our mind. I mean,
you just don't want to believe it. Who wants to believe that, you know, these people are like monsters?
Yeah, cause it is kind of yeah. Cause also it kind of puts you on the brink, not brink, but like also in a space where it's like, damn, it is crazy. Not even crazy to assume that. 'Cause I mean, now is shit's happening, so you know it's a safe assumption to some degree, right? But like in terms of from a mental energy or soul, like spiritual aspect, to just constantly assume that it's like almost is also difficult too, because you're almost walking around like paranoid, right? Like about everything. Like, you know, in terms of like, you know, hey, you talk to this person might have, you know, you might be like, oh shit, that might be that. This might be that. Oh, this, you know, somebody might do something great. You might, oh, that might be this. That might be that. You know, you get to a point where you're just like, I'm alone with these thoughts. And what is, you know, like it starts altering thoughts about just or perceptions about reality, if that makes any sense. Like your perception of reality becomes so like, I won't say tainted, but it just like becomes difficult. You put in that filter that reality through so many different filters that almost it's hard to like experience like life to some degree, like in a way that's like, I don't know, like calm.
Yeah, I'm like, when you think of reality, like, I mean, like, you know, pretty much all the shit is made up. I mean, not only like in life, I mean, just like in Hollywood, that's what it's a set. Mm-hmm. It's a light, it's a camera, just like this.
Lights,
like,
cameras, action.
Yeah, like these moments aren't true. Like, you know, you don't know what fucking J-Lo looks like when she's got diarrhea. You know what I mean? Like, but Ben Affleck does. Or when she, you know what I mean? Like, these aren't, you're only seeing them for 15 seconds. And the rest of their life to them is like being imagined. So we can only imagine ourselves in those roles. And we're like imagining us with money, us being famous. And we go, well, that must be the problem with what's going on with me, is I don't have enough money. I don't have enough Instagram followers, or this is what's holding me back. So like when we see people in those positions that are successful, like that are president or rock star or whatever, we're like, how can you not be happy? This is everything I want. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I thought this was the cure. The cure is to make a bunch of money and have sex with a bunch of women You know, I wish that was the cure. I wish I could go to the doctor and be like, oh, I got athlete's foot. He's like, sounds like you need to get more pussy. That would be great, wouldn't it? Sounds like you need to get the bag.
Put that on a doctor's
Yeah.
note. You go to a girl, but hey,
Yeah.
doctor's orders.
I might die. They might have to cut my foot off if you don't give me this pussy, bitch. Yeah.
You go on a first date.
Yeah.
Once it start wrapping up, you be like, hey, so got this doctor's note.
Like, well, I can't read it. You know.
Yeah, I can't read.
Sounds like you're gonna need a second opinion. But like, that's what our brains think, or
Yeah.
at least that's what, you know, I think when you want to get in, maybe entertainment and stuff, like, you know, you think that way. But like, you know, there's a lot of people that don't, like people on farms and shit that are like the real like human beings, salt of the earth type people. Who, you know, who wants to live on a fucking farm? But I'm just like, you know, it's what you're that's what the industry portrays.
Right.
You get this life, you'll be happy. Nothing will be wrong. And, you know, slowly but surely, like, things are chipping away at it. Like Owen Wilson, like, suicide attempt. You're like, well, all that
Owen
nigga says is
Wilson?
wow. Yeah, you're like,
Oh, why did I know?
these are all people that are
Right.
famous people that have, like, severely depressed. Like, my favorite song by Kendrick Lamar is, what's that one? It's like,
The newest album? Like,
it's the
Damn.
newest album. He's like,
Damn? Or-
it's not Damn. It's
Nah.
Mess Around, the Big Steppers.
Oh, Big Step. No, not Rich.
Miss Regrets, I bet that you done me wrong. Miss Regrets, can you please get out my home? I know millionaires that feel alone.
That
Some that
sounds
find
familiar.
themselves on the phone. And that's
That-
why I'm like, that album, when I heard that album, especially that song, I think it's called Out of Control or Control or something like that. But that song was my favorite song, where it's like, you know, he is a millionaire. And he definitely knows millionaires that feel alone. Got a, you know, bunch of money, but they're like, you know, who's my friend?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you never think about that type of stuff, like what you have to give up to. You always have to give up something to get something. You know, you want to go work out. Well, that's time you can't edit a video. You want to go make $1 million. You know, that's time you can't. You know, they say time is money, but it's that way. Like, okay, you made $1 million, but what time did you give up? You know, maybe it was time with your kids or your family.
Right.
Or whatever. Like, those things now, I think, are probably becoming more prevalent as, you know, people aren't even like, I don't know if they want to be fucking movie stars anymore. You know, you see Will Smith slap Chris Rock and shit, and you go like, well, nigga, what? I don't know if I want to be there, you know?
He's like, yo, what's going on, Will?
Yeah, I don't.
It's interesting.
Yeah, like, this is crazy. That this is all kind of like, these things are all happening and being unraveled, like, pretty close back to back. I don't know if this make any sense, but
No, I think it is. I think in terms of like just again back to perception, right? And like perception of reality, and it not like matching the perception, or like it's being like the perception and the reality is being challenged by some of these things that you're talking about, and it kind of puts it again back to this like uncomfortable place. I think some people may be in terms of like, oh, I thought in order to be happy, the reality of that is to get money or women or, you know, date the right person, and not being shattered in different ways, like asymmetrically, to where you're just like, what is real? I thought money, I've been chasing money in this for a long time, and you tell me I'm still gonna be depressed after? So what do I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of puts people in a really uneasy, because it's such an easy solution, right? Or not such an easy.
Get rich or die trying, bitch.
There you go. Now you might get rich and still die. You know?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. So why try?
Yeah, get rich and you will die. It's not as catchy, but, you know.
You know, that's like sometimes I can imagine difficult for some people. So yeah, I understand where you come from. Like, I mean, difficult, not like in like, but like just in terms of that being challenged. 'Cause you still got people that think like rich and famous is the end all be all and it's going to solve everything. But I think to what you said is that now is becoming more in your face, kind of like, all right, here's this rich person that's like to your status, rich, got all the women, the cars, it's not whatever.
Yeah.
And they are addicted to some things that they still are trying to get out of or something like that. Or they still sad, they still depressed. So,
Or if you want this, it's very simple. I'm going to have Terry Crews come in here and fuck you in the ass.
Yo,
That's the deal.
Terry Crews.
Yeah. He's going to come in here, fuck you in the ass, and your life will change. But I'm going to have a tape of it. You're going to be a star, but you're getting fucked in the ass.
Yeah, you continue being a star and get dividends from that.
Now the question is, are you going to let your ego hold you back from this bag? And all these bitches. You can have any bitch you want. but you're getting fucked in. I'm serious. Like, that's what these deals, that's what's going on. If you read the Diddy shit, that's what's going on in these, like, rooms.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Ciroc that ass out of here.
Dog. Cirocking somebody's ass is wild.
Man, the more you learn about this shit, the more you, like, the shit that was going on with Diddy, you go, what the fuck? Like, you start going, like, maybe these niggas really aren't that talented. These were just the ones that were willing to give up their ass.
I ain't gonna lie, because I don't know all the details, but I've been hearing, obviously more. I'm nervous to look at it all, man. Like to.
Oh, you should. I mean, I went down a rabbit hole the other day.
Oh, bro.
Because I talked to you earlier. I was like, me and my mom like the YSL trial, because that's one of the funniest ones. And then we watched the Johnny Depp trial together. Like, she likes trial stuff. I don't like murder trials, but I can get with, like, I guess Diddy is a murder trial, but because he killed people too. He's under for trying to blow up Kid Cudi and possibly killing his wife Kim Porter, and it's crazy. It's like the web of, like, how much this guy has done. The TV show is gonna be fire, and I don't mean the documentary that 50 Cent's making.
Okay, yeah, I mean
that's not even. I mean, like, I don't know who's gonna play this nigga, but we're gonna need Denzel, Michael B. Jordan. They're gonna play him at different points of his life,
bro.
And the gangster that he is. This movie, like, remember how you go, like, man, who's gonna play Tupac? Who's gonna play Biggie? Who's gonna play Diddy? Because this nigga is insane, the shit he did.
Okay, I gotta ask you a question. How long do you think it'll take from now until when that biopic is made about Diddy?
Here's the truth: Law and Order is gonna come out with an episode in 5 months, so that's coming out right away. SVU is gonna do an episode about this so fast, and Ice-T gonna be like, yeah. Newsflash, you're gay, man. And you're like, oh shit, Ice-T said that shit. But I think Idris Elba would be great to play him.
Diddy now, not like from his because he named himself Love at one point, right?
Yeah,
so,
he was Brother Love.
Okay, so Brother Love
should have told us everything we needed to know.
I mean, that is.
But like,
I wonder from Brother Love to now. You think that Brother
Love? He went
to
like Brother Love to back to Diddy to P Diddy.
He did P Diddy before he got back to Diddy. Kind of he had Puff Daddy, then he had P Diddy, then I think he had Brother Love. Then he had
Puff. Then it was like Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
And then it was like Brother Love, and then I think it was Diddy, and then P Diddy.
P Diddy, yeah.
Yeah, which is like.
And then I think he had Diddy at the end, or I don't know. That's like just a.
Diddy's the last iteration. Right. He's like Frieza. This nigga had final forms of evil crimes. He was like, I have to hit my final form. He was wild out here, man.
So he was Frieza during the whole Frieza saga, like Namek, where he was in the chair, and that was the first form where the
first form where he was looking for the Dragon Balls, and then the second form was when he's like, oh, I must fight and unleash my power. And it's like, there was different versions of like. Yeah, man. I'll send you this interview. I watched this years ago.
Yeah.
But it's this interview with Jonathan Adi. I don't know if you heard this guy.
No.
But he did an interview when he got caught at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. And you can watch it online. But he talked about it years ago, about Diddy being gay. He said Rick Ross was gay. He said DJ Khaled's gay. And he said that DJ Khaled is like a supporter of Hamas. He said all this 2018. It's an interview because he's interviewed by the Secret Service, and you can see it.
Whoa! It's
the craziest interview you'll ever see, and he talks about like the Illuminati and the Boule or whatever, which is like the black Illuminati, which is called the Boule.
The Boule? What?
It sounds crazy, but if you literally Google Boule, like it was like a Creole word or a French word.
Yeah.
If you look it up, it'll pop up on Wikipedia. It sounds insane.
Wow, bro.
But imagine someone told you 6 years ago, yeah, Diddy is raping men. You would have been like, nigga, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But now look at it now, where like everyone's like, yeah, it's hilarious. It's a joke. He's raping men. You know what I mean? Like
that, yo. All right, so I mean, for you, because we're both stand-up comedians, right?
Right.
If you didn't realize already, that. Like, because all this is coming out, right? Like, how like do you feel about just entertainment, comedy, whatever in general? Because it's like a lot of
There's
stuff.
a lot of material. But I don't really talk about it that much on stage because I used to. I remember when the Harvey Weinstein thing happened, And I remember thinking like, oh, this is a lot of fun to like talk about because a lot of other comedians won't talk about it.
Yeah.
But now so many people are talking about it that I kind of just go, this is I don't know. Like, I'm more interested in talking about like maybe overall like the thing we're talking about, which is like our eyes are being like, all right, these are the things you worship, like, you know, like biblical, like false idols. Like, okay, here you go. You want to see how the sausage is made. But on stage, I'm like, I just rather watch other people talk about it. Like, maybe I should talk about maybe me confronting my own the glorification of wanting to be in the industry and what I thought was acceptable or what I think is acceptable, and, you know, coming face to face with that. Or just even like, you know, like the whole Diddy thing, like I think I find interesting is like, you know, people were like defending him, and then when they saw that tape come out with Cassie, that's when it was like, But, you know, like, it's kind of crazy. It's like kind of like what happens to like when black people get shot. You know, they go like, come on, police violence isn't that bad, and then they see the tape and they go, oh my God. It's like, when are we gonna get to the point where we don't need to see a tape? Like, why should we have a 10-year-old tape of Cassie getting her ass beat to be like, okay, I believe her. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
So maybe we're like, you know, I'm a little bit more interested in that. Like, why do we need to see a video? Why does every cop need to have a fucking camera on their body? And then we need to go, I need to see that tape before I believe him versus the police officers who become mayor and steal. The good guys. You know what I mean? Really? These are the niggas you believe? Like, you know, that's why I'm like, something's happened. I think there's a shift happening where like people are like, yeah, I don't need to see a tape. I believe this person. You know what I mean?
Because it happens so frequently. I mean, it's like to a point where it's like so and egregious too. When you see the tape, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you were lying.
Yeah.
You were lying, and they were telling the truth the whole entire time. And also it's good that we live in this world now. Like, our eyes are just, you can't, the only thing you can do is like have plausible deniability, where you're actively going, I don't want to pay attention to that. I don't want to know about that. But, you know, you can't. On a global scale, like with what's going on in the Middle East, you know, it's no one can sit here and say like, oh, I don't know what's going on, or I don't want to hear that. It's like, well, nigga, they don't want to live it. Like, yeah, of course you don't want to hear it, but like, you know, where you're getting to the point where younger generations are like, no, it's not okay. Or other people from the nations of, you know, they're like, this isn't okay to do this to people. Russia or, you know, even America, or like the guy who set himself on fire.
Right, yeah,
You know,
in front of the embassy, yeah.
Wild, you know. I mean, I knew he was white though. As soon as he set himself, I was like, this is definitely.
I mean, of course, yeah. Ain't no black. I mean, gas. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Like, nigga, I'm gonna pay for my own suicide. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, right. I gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta pay for the gas.
He would have just held a Palestine sign and walked towards the cops. They were like, ah.
Yeah, that would have. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Or hopped the turnstile. They were like, nigga, it was $2.90. Kill him.
Yo.
The mayor needs his $2.90.
Yo. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, there's you know, and maybe it goes in waves. Like, maybe this happened in the 60s or 70s with Vietnam, and we just weren't there for it. But it feels like now with technology, these things are like being opened up to where, again, and it's probably good for corrective of human behavior.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, I can't be a fucking animal because this camera's here. Yeah. And you need that.
You definitely need that.
You need, like, you know, if technology has to be the alpha, then that's what it takes. Like, if it takes that to be a good person, then, you know, it needs to be around. You know, I would tell every woman you need a body cam, I guess, at this point, you know?
I mean, because it's crazy out here. I mean, even coming back out here and then hearing things and just being like, wow, really? Like, you know, because it's just like, yeah. Yo, thank God for technology, to be honest. Like, because I mean, we all learned this just by sheer technology. If there's no technology, bro, it would have been how it was before technology came out, which we would have never known. It'd been like 2 or 3 people bringing it out. We'd be like, you're crazy. And by the way, no career for you. Yeah. And then, you know, you find out usually never, or through some obscure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, or I guess someone's black book or some shit like that.
Yeah, or some renegade documentary person who's like, I'm gonna expose it. And it's like, all right, well, know that you're
on the list.
Yeah, you're on the list, and your career hinge on this documentary. So
yeah,
hopefully this gets through Sundance or whatever festival or even at that.
Yeah, and I watched Will Ferrell's doing a documentary about his friend becoming trans.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, I just saw it's on Netflix, but I go like, this might be something where like, people, he's making a film like this because it's about his friend, but also it's like he's exposing it to a wider audience than anyone else can because he's like, trying to help people understand what happens when, I guess, people that are friends of people who become trans go on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
You go like, this is interesting in a way where you go like, this is more interesting than just being like, all right, we're gonna put a trans person in Spider-Man.
Right.
You're like, well, all right, well, that doesn't seem as interesting as like actually exploring what they feel about it.
Yeah, because it's obviously a serious experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you gotta really, this nigga gotta be committed to cut his dick off. That's a serious, that's some, you definitely feel that shit. You know what I mean?
You definitely feel it.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
That's
Vice versa,
like, I would definitely tend to believe that person when they say, I feel like a woman on the inside, if they, or I'm a woman. I'm like, well, yeah, if you want to cut your dick off. Yeah,
and it's expensive too, like the procedures, all that stuff.
That's,
the medication, everything, the new clothes you got. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, and there's famous people like Elliot Page.
Right.
Like she was a woman and then became a man, Elliot Page. Mm-hmm. And like that would be interesting, like to hear him talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm like, these I get why like a lot of the stories now are more focused on gender and sexuality, is because it is kind of like this, like another wall being torn down.
Yeah. Like
how we had the facade of how the industry was, but it's like, okay, we grew up with, there's two genders, there's man, woman, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And now there's other people growing up with like, they don't feel that way. You know what I mean? And they feel like, well, man can dress like a woman or whatever. I mean, I guess that was going in the 70s too, but I'm like, but now there's no more like two genders. It's like gender fluid or, I'm they, them. And it's interesting to see that happen. And like, I don't know, like for me, like the wall being torn down in my head of like, no, there's red or there's blue. That's it. God damn it. You know what I mean? Like the inner conservative in you face that and go like, why can't I let go of this thing? Especially if it's hurting someone else. Like all I'm holding on to is, the two options someone gave me. So maybe they didn't know any better.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe this other person who's actually living the experience is like, no, that's not how I feel. Mm-hmm. Or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's all, yeah.
Like I was like thinking like, the gay guys back in the day that were like, that created like, what is it, voguing and
it's like back in the 90s or something already.
No, this is like maybe the 80s. Like the Puerto Rican black guys that used to live out in the Chelsea Piers and shit, and they created what's that shit where like they do the death drop? RuPaul, like all that culture. Drag, all that stuff and everything. And they did like the ballroom up in Harlem and Paris is Burning and everything like that.
Oh wow.
But like essentially that was a culture that was created by a bunch of brown and black gay dudes that was like shunned. And that culture has now become like TikTok. Like everyone sounds like a gay black guy from Harlem in like the 90s. Like, yes, queen. Oh my God. Yeah. It's giving. It's like, and like RuPaul is like the biggest show in the world because he's just being like, this was something that was created and people shunned it. And now this is what happens when like it becomes accepted. You know what I mean? Like, if you date a girl, that's all they watch is RuPaul's Drag Race.
I remember you telling me this or so, yeah.
That's all they watch is like that and murder shows. It's like,
which is interesting.
Yeah. It is crazy, yeah. It's like, wow. I want to see how I get killed, and then they also want to see how a man could be better than me and being a woman or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a comedian. I don't know what.
Yeah, we're all comedians. Yeah, let's preface this. Comedians. We're just talking and through some of it, something comes up. Yeah.
But it's interesting to see like when the walls get torn down, how accepted it becomes like maybe 10, 20 years later and everything, and like how it's just like, who knows what's gonna happen with like gender in 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck knows? Like, it's always a period where things are denied, or it's like it's ridiculed.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I forget the guy who said this, but it's like it's denied, then it's ridiculed, and then it's accepted as truth. Where it's like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Which is that is a human thing right there. Where it's like I bet it can be infuriating for some people that had brought that up in the beginning, And everyone's kind of like, no, that's crazy. And then like now, like on the further end of it, being like, oh yeah, I knew that to be true. And he's like, no, you did not.
Yeah, that guy that made all that money, Michael Burry, on The Big Short. They made that movie
Oh,
about
right,
him.
right.
He was like, I can't believe this is happening. And everyone was like, yeah, we'll give you credit default swaps, you fucking idiot. And he held on to him for like 4 years or something like that, or however long he did. And then it blew up and he became one of the richest people in the world. And they go, how did he know this? And everyone was like, well, how could you not see this was going to happen?
It's so hilarious. Because you're like, yo, this was not clear. This was very, obscure, like only a few people. But, in terms of being able to see the writing on the wall before the wall was torn down and, we were able to see the other end of it.
Even the guys in our industry, Trey Parker and Matt Stone,
Mm-hmm.
they knew when Netflix started doing the DVD thing, they were like, this is going to be huge. They signed rights where they owned their rights to like streaming because they were making the show before, but they knew streaming was coming. And I remember thinking too, like, we used to go to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So we're old enough to that where you're like the
Right.
experience of going to go pick a movie and was it going to be there? Can I get a video game, Mom? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the game you want, is it gone? So you got to have a second option.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I can only get it for Friday.
I don't really like this game, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like this game, but am I really going to do my homework this weekend? Okay, I'll get this game. And so then I remember Netflix came about and it used to be you put you get the DVD out of a box.
Yeah, in the mail. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like in front of 7-Eleven and shit. It's like you almost had to get stabbed to go get a Netflix DVD.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Even with Redbox and shit. I mean, went out there.
And then you get it out of a box and then you go put it back. And I remember thinking like, this is stupid. This is never gonna take off.
You gotta mail it and stuff.
You gotta mail it back.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
So
like this
crazy.
is so stupid. And then they tried it with video games with GameFly, but it didn't work.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember my mom was one of the first people. I remember the box, and I was like, "We're not going to Blockbuster." She was like, "No, we got the Netflix thing." And I go, "That's not the same. I want to go and look at the boxes and
I look behind it and see there's enough there. There's something behind it. Yeah."
But my mom's like, "The Netflix box is up the street. You want to go to Blockbuster? You got Blockbuster gas. You got Blockbuster money. You ain't got a card." And she got me there, so it just became more convenient.
Right.
And then the streaming and everything coming after that, I got like 5 streaming services.
Oh, it's so crazy, right?
This is cable, but they had the foresight to see I should own the rights to my own streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not having the battles that the writers, when they had the writer's strike the other day.
Right.
I think it was last year. They're not having these battles of like, we want residuals from She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we own the rights to all the streaming. We can sell it to whoever we want because they knew 20 years ago this is what's coming.
Yeah. And they're the creator of South Park, right?
They're the creators of South Park. Yeah.
And which is crazy because I bet for them dudes when that came out, they're probably like, these South Park dudes, what are they doing?
I mean, no one it was thinking that far ahead, but in their time they went from 90 something when South Park came out to 20 years something in the business where they're like, movies don't matter anymore. We made movies, they bombed. TV, there was cable, and then now there's like, I guess this DVD thing, this Blockbuster, and they've grown up to where there were no video stores, and then they became video stores, and so they've seen enough of it go on where they go like, remember like for us the biggest battle was Dave Chappelle's DVD rights. Yeah. He was like, I'm not getting money off the DVDs.
That was wild.
Yeah, and it's like, kids today would be like, why would he even fight for money for DVDs? Like. And everyone owned like the Chappelle Show, season 2, season 1.
Classic.
That's what I'm saying. But now people don't even know what DVDs or Blu-rays are. And
so wild.
VHS tapes or like Laserdisc. I was that crazy. I used to go buy old Laserdiscs to listen to director's commentary. I was a really weird kid.
Whoa, damn.
Yeah, I was a really weird kid. But like those things I think are like also fortuitous for us to look at, like foresight. Like, okay, we got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got whatever. It's like, but Facebook was once something. MySpace was once something.
Right.
Black People Meet was once something.
Oh, remember that Black Planet?
Black Planet.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, what happened to Black Planet?
Mi Gente. I remember that was like a Spanish
Flew
one.
too close to the sun. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like.
Right, Boxton.
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 That's why I'm like, these things change. They just kind of, they go away. But like, you got to have the foresight to maybe look ahead and see like, okay, what, It's like the mayor or the president. They're only going to be here for like 8 years, really.
Yeah,
and if they go beyond that, we're looking.
So what do you think is coming in the future? Like, I mean, because you obviously are into the depths of certain conspiracies, but at the same time you're a comedian, a very smart one at that.
Yeah.
You've been in the industry, coming out of LA,
Yeah.
being around it. What do you think is coming next in general, like entertainment wise?
I think like everything is headed towards the way of like maybe OnlyFans a little bit, where it's like, I mean, that is kind of the model. Like like truthfully, like people are on Patreon. That's
Right.
that's kind of like OnlyFans. Like you pay for my content. It's just not calling it OnlyFans. You know what I mean? But like, Disney Plus is like $7.99 a month or something like that. But then they got I'm a fan of Alex, so I want to give Alex $5 a month. I don't have the overhead of Disney. I don't need to run a theme park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But they do. So they consistently have to keep raising the price of these things. They consistently have to go like, I got to keep not only do I have to keep the lights on, this thing has to keep growing.
Yeah.
Like if I get, 5,000 people to give me, like $1 a month, it's $5,000 a month.
Very dope. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't need billions of people. I don't need an Alexander Tokyo. You know what I mean?
Alexander Tokyo.
So
Right.
I think we're headed to those places where like people can directly go to you for whatever they want and not. I mean, we're there already, but like I think it'll be like, what's the Web 3?
Yeah, the Web3 is the next one with NFTs and stuff. And
Yeah, and there'll be I want an NFT of this moment with Nya, or the NFT of this thing with this comedy moment, or like this basketball moment, or whatever. Like I know everyone thinks like, oh, that didn't work and that was a waste. It's like they said the same thing about the electric car, and look at where we're at. Like
now it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's like it takes 20, 30 years. This shit isn't like instantaneously. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, and I think we're just headed in that direction of Web 3.0, where it's like, I don't know, I've got Nya coin. Seriously, like,
Yeah, the blockchain.
Yeah, it's like, that's where we're headed. Like with the platforms of TikTok and Instagram, we're going to eventually realize these things don't last. But like, where's Nya's platform? Or like, whatever. Like, people I'm sure don't want to be on X or Twitter because of Elon Musk. So they go, I wish there was another platform where it was just this thing, or whatever. I don't like Threads. I want to go on just on Nya's Threads.
That's true. Even with the platforms now. There's platforms where I know people are like deliberately not on there. Like they're like, oh, I only watch things on YouTube, and you're like, oh, damn, I gotta put things on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, YouTube is. We talked about this a million times. To me, YouTube is the #1 TV network station, whatever in the world. Like YouTube TV is basically cable, but to me, it's better than cable. YouTube is great because you can research whatever you want. Like if you go, I don't know, I bought a 1976 Plymouth. How do I work on the engine? Yeah, there's somebody that's done it already.
True. Yeah.
And you can it's like a library of human culture and everything. Like comedy specials, like the rights that Comedy Central don't even play anymore. And like, what's the thing? John Oliver just got upset with HBO Max about putting his clips out on Thursday instead of right after on YouTube. Even he, who has a TV show, who's won Emmys, is going, this shit needs to be on YouTube, but they're holding back so people will watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah. They even playing that game, yeah.
But the truth is, people want to watch it on YouTube. They don't want to watch it on HBO Max.
It's that. To your point, I think, I agree. It would probably go even further into like, now I want to see on your specific thing.
Your channel.
I
want Channel Nya. I don't want Disney Plus. I don't want to watch them, or I don't want to watch these mega corporations. I want to see you get rich. I don't want to see them get rich.
That's a good. I mean, great for us, right? I mean,
this is great. This is good for people who make content or consumers of content. Like, again, I can watch. Like, I'm trying to think, what's my favorite thing to watch? I love like the spirituality, the Eckhart Tolles, and the Ram Dass, Alan Watts. And like, the only thing that sucks is the AI space in that, because now AI can fake.
I've been seeing some stuff,
Yeah, like you listen to Alan Watts, and Alan Watts is like, so what if you want to work more hours? You go, wait a minute, Alan Watts never says that.
I don't think he ever heard hours from this guy,
Stop being a bitch. You go, wait, that's not Alan Watts. Who said that? Yeah. I mean, that's what's coming in, but like, I think it's good for creators to be autonomous from corporations. Because we're not corporations.
Right, we're people.
Yeah, we're people.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you just want to make things to make things. Maybe you shouldn't make things to have a bottom dollar. Like, Disney makes a movie, they go, how much am I going to get back?
Yeah, that's real. You
Yeah.
know?
I need to sell toys. I'm in the business of selling toys and people coming to the theme park. I'm not in the business of making movies.
Mm-hmm.
Disney hasn't been in the business of making movies in a long time. So.
Nah, hell no. Just all them toys.
Yeah, I mean, how much is a movie ticket?
I don't even know.
$20?
Last time
$25?
Last time I went to the movies, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Bro.
How much is a theme park ticket? $200?
A lot, yeah.
So you got to go to the movie 10 times just for them to make what they make off of you one time?
Yeah, and also you got to buy their money. You can't even buy. You can't bring U.S. dollars in there. You got to buy like Disney bucks or something like that.
No, you can use this. You
can?
can. Yeah, but they do sell Disney bucks.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
But you can use regular money. They make sure you can use regular money.
Okay, yeah, they ain't gonna deny it.
No. They go, no, this is what we're gonna use.
Yeah.
You take Disney dollars. We're gonna use. We're gonna use this.
It's gonna be the same thing. We're upcharging you for what you spend $2 on.
Yeah, and then again, they got Disney bucks. You'll have Nya bucks.
Yeah, bucks.
You'll spend,
Alex bucks.
V bucks on 2K.
Wow,
That's its own currency. Or these games that are like free to play, but you buy skins or
Yeah, DSLRs, yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that's
DSLRs now, downloadable content. Yeah, DLRs, yeah.
Yeah, that's something like that seems to be where the world is headed. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
No, I mean it's a great thing, and I mean even with what you got going on, like you have you're one half of Sad Money.
Yep, with
right.
Steven Sahelnick.
Yeah, so
Steven Sahelnick.
Yeah, definitely check them out. Sad Money, they're everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And then also you got Metropolitoons.
There you go.
Metropolitoons, yes.
Yeah,
you got
look us up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, but really YouTube. Follow us on YouTube.
YouTube for both of them. Yeah, very dope.
Yeah. Sad Money, we talk about money. Me and Steven, we got involved pretty heavily with it during the pandemic. And we try to talk about it, not make it taboo. We ask people about dating, going into debt for it, plans for money stopping you having kids. So just hearing regular people's opinions on that. And the cartoon is just, we used to make a web series. You were in the web series, actually.
Yes.
And then we realized so many people were like, this is kind of like a cartoon. And then Matt started animating. And then we started talking about doing a cartoon. And we've been doing it since. And it's brand new. I think it came out in June. And we just, you're able to say things in animation that you aren't able to say as a human being.
Yeah.
Where people kind of go like, oh yeah, this is softening it for me. It's not real.
It's fake. A cartoon that's saying it. It's not real people.
Yeah, like it's animated,
Yeah.
Or you can do things in satire that you can't do with, like again, Bambi really would have sucked if it was regular. Like his dad just got shot.
Yeah.
Or his mom just got shot. You're like, man, this movie's.
Yeah,
but in Bambi, you kind of go like, oh yeah, he's a hunter. He's got to shoot this bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, it's what we do.
Makes sense. It is what it is. Put two and two together.
Yeah, but if it just been a guy walking around, he just shot some lady and then just walked off, you would have been like, what happened to that guy?
He's like, is he going to jail? What's going on? What's going on with the justice system in this movie?
Yeah, but like, with cartoons, you can stretch your mind in different ways. So we like doing the cartoon a lot. And also, you don't have to be on camera, which is great.
Yeah, because sometimes it's exhausting. You got to make sure everything's all good and
Yeah, you got to match certain frames. And, you got to act. You got to look. You got to do all this, and you're like, God damn, I didn't get a haircut this week.
No,
shit like that. Where you're like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, my hand's ashy. Let me make sure.
Yeah, you got to do all this shit. But like a cartoon, it's just like, let me do the voice. I can have different weird scenarios that I want to think up. So, yeah, Metropolitans and Sad Money are the two major things that I'm working on right now.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. And then also, too, we've been on tour, so, you're doing stand-up thing.
Doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not going to lie to you, man. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Alex and I we went out to Europe. I think it was we went to Europe before. You and I, actually. You've been to London. Year ago. Yeah. We went to Paris. Netherlands was Amsterdam, Rotterdam. We went to Paris. I went to Berlin. We went back to Paris. You went to London. I went to Berlin.
Right.
And then that was around that time, during that moment where my brain was formulating again around moving out to Europe. So
yeah, when you said you liked Berlin, I knew you were gone. I was like, that's it. He wants out. He wants out the asylum.
Yeah, because Berlin's a cold place. So he was like, yeah, if you want to be here, that means you are destined to be here.
You're done. I was like, he's out of here. And I don't blame you. Like, Europe is like a nice place. Like, it's like the food isn't poison. The people they have some sort of like balance about them. They're all balanced in weird ways.
Yeah.
But there is a balance.
A balance, yeah.
Like some sort of work-life balance or something.
Definitely work-life balance.
Yeah, here there is no, like, people like, I live to work. You know, like, you got to be hustling all the time. And you see how other people live out there, and you go, oh, you don't have to live like this? It's like, okay. But I get it, but Berlin, to me, was just, that was depressing.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When you said that, I was like, no, man, it's not that bad. After surviving winter, I was like, yeah, you made the right decision.
Yeah, that winter was crazy. I mean, we were there for like a week, 2 weeks, something like that, a week.
Yeah.
But I was like, to me, that was insane how black it got.
And you know, and the thing is, what's funny is that at the time where there, everything possibly bad can happen was happening. It was a lot of rain. There was hail, snow, like then hail again. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then again, the sky got dark, which is like that is his own thing. So yeah, your assumption of what it could be is true. Yeah, that was something I was suffering from, that like changes in weather, the winter time, and we went there during the springtime. So imagine the winter.
Yeah, I knew right away. That's why I was like, if this is the spring, what the hell is the winter like here? I said, no, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't do this.
He's like, I do a London and Paris, but not this.
Yeah, easily. I will easily do, yeah. I mean, and you stuck, and you made it work, and you're like doing things, and you're, you know, like really progressing in terms of like the stuff you're doing here, social media, all that stuff. And
Thank
I'm
you,
like,
man.
I never had a doubt in my mind it would work for you. I just knew for me. I was like, this shit ain't gonna work.
But I mean, you definitely doing your thing out there in London, bro. I mean, when we was out there, you know, doing Top Secret, you was doing it back-to-back, killing it every night.
Oh yeah, that was only came about because of a positive mind state.
Ooh,
that's what I believe.
You know,
gotta change that mind state.
Yeah, you may be a conspiracy theorist, but you are definitely a positive person, so that definitely balances it out.
I'm a positive conspiracy theorist. I'm not out here like, oh, you know, they killed JFK. I mean, they did kill JFK, but I'm like, you know, I'm just out here like, you know, there's things that we believe, our own conspiracies that we hold against ourselves. Like, oh, you know, I'm not where I'm at because of this person or because of that person. And sometimes it's like, you're not where you're at because you believe those things are holding you back. Yeah, it's like The Matrix, you know what I mean? Like, you ever watched The Matrix? Yeah. 25th anniversary, by the way.
Ooh, oh, really?
I believe it's it's either the 25th or the 20th anniversary. No, it came out in 1999.
Yeah.
It's 2024. Yeah, I think it's 25th anniversary. Wow. It was in theaters like last week. You got to watch this movie. Every year where they go like, you think that's air you're breathing? It's like, yeah, what? Like, I remember when COVID hit and then all the planes and cars were not going anywhere. I was like, this is what air smells like. This isn't.
It was cleaner. You saw like animals being free. You know, things are Start touching grass more.
All that like you're like Neo. Every person is like Neo. You're the one. You can do anything. You just have to believe you can do it. I mean, don't try and dodge bullets. But I'm just saying, like,
you try to dodge.
There's a metaphor, is what I'm saying. It's not, you can't jump across. Maybe you could. I don't know. Maybe you actually could. But I'm just saying, like, you know, there's things that you can do if you break down the beliefs in your head and you go, there's no one stopping me from doing these things. Like, you could be a millionaire. That's probably the easiest thing in the world to do, is make $1 million, honestly. Like, probably the hardest thing because how many people become millionaires?
Yeah, a lot.
There's a lot of people that are millionaires, which means how hard could it be? I think there's more millionaires than people that have climbed Everest.
True. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, you know.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, man, during that tour, when we was doing the tour, man, that mindset, and like, I remember you had like the gratitude journal you be writing, or like, you know, I just saw your that really helped me out a lot too as well. So it was dope, like, actually be on tour with somebody like, you know, like you, that was very positive. You know, because in comedy, that in positivity, it's like here and
very negative place.
Very negative place. So to just have a person that, you know, obviously the way you perform and things, that was like, oh, that was just dope to be in the same place. And just like, you know, seeing you perform, we performing together, being like you traveling, new experiences, all of that. That was like, man, that was like really a moment that was like, oh my God, like almost like close to once in a lifetime. Like in terms of just traveling with somebody that like, you know, mad cool jokes. It was even to the point like, you know, cause we stayed in a small ass place in Paris that we didn't really have like no butting heads. Like it was like very, you know what I mean? So that was like a dope time experience to like travel to these new places, performing. And then like, you know, just still continue that journey. I mean, you out in London doing your thing, Paris doing your thing, you know what I mean? And if Berlin, whenever you want to come there again, you know, maybe not during the winter time.
I actually might come back during the winter time just to see how bad it gets.
I mean, the comedy, wintertime, Berlin, great. Yeah. All shows are doing great.
That's why I'm like, I might actually go just to see, like, okay, if I know, like, all right, I'm gonna be here a week or two and I'm dipping, And then also to see Eunice and all you guys. I haven't seen Eunice or Ludwig.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, Ludwig. Yeah, I mean, he's doing hours almost every month, and he's.
So that's what I'm saying. To go just see that and see people that we did connect with, and catch up with them again, and like that stuff is like. I want to go to do comedy and stuff, but I'm like, it's more important to do those things in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I should go just for that, just to. I mean, you're offering me like to go, a place to stay, and that's why I'm like,
yeah, bro, yeah. I mean, you definitely got a place.
That's why I'm like, it almost feels like egregious to not. Like, all I'm gonna do is spend the money on shoes, really.
On shoes.
So like, and I can only wear one pair, and I don't even wear them when I travel. So it kind of feels like, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, I'm like, I love shoes, but at the same time, what do I love more, shoes or new experiences?
Oof.
Like,
I mean, I mean, obviously they want new experiences, but when you look at them shoes, you're like, damn.
They're listen, man, they're right there.
I
really just need to make enough money that I can do both.
Yeah,
because I ain't giving up shoes. I am not giving up sneakers, boy. I know that about myself.
I mean, because shoes, you get it right there. Experience, you got to wait 7.5 to 8 hours to get it. And that's a long time. And a plane.
But it keeps you like, it fills you up. It's like soup or something, like chicken noodle soup. It's like, oh, I feel better after this.
Yeah.
But a shoe is like, once you get it and you got it and you go like, man, this feels good. But what's next? It's like,
and after you get that first crease in there, you're like, all right, well, that it ran the course.
But then every time you put them on, and somebody's like, damn, man, nice shoes. You go, oh, yeah, that's right, bitch. That's fucking right.
You know who you talking to.
I'm back. It's just one pair.
Yeah, just one. Imagine I had two.
Because you can't, it's hard to do that with trips. Trips are just like, the real experience is just for you.
Yeah.
And the sneakers, like, for everybody to be like, damn, okay, I see you.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I want to talk to you different.
But you can't, there's no way, you're sitting on the train and somebody's like, yo, nice trip to Paris. Like, that's never going to happen.
I can see your aura.
It's
really improved.
That actually did happen to me. I take that back.
What?
I went to Pilates when I came back, flew back on a Tuesday, got back Tuesday night, went to Pilates the next day on Wednesday.
Wow.
And then the teacher was like, I don't know what you did recently. Maybe you got haircut, something, but something about you seems better, seems lighter. And I was like, yeah, your boy just got married.
Yeah, the niggas in Paris, you know what I mean?
And that was like the shoes.
Yeah.
It was like, I didn't do anything different. I was excited to go back to her class. She said, something about you seemed better. And I go, yeah. I was like, damn, I guess I got to keep going back. I got to keep doing this to
man. Lighten
my soul or help myself.
And yeah, I mean, of course it does, new experiences and things. But I have one question to ask you.
Yeah.
It's a question.
No, Diddy did not. No, sorry. Did not fuck me in the ass. I don't know where that baby oil came from.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. All right, guys. Well, this is the end of the podcast. Imagine I was doing this whole entire podcast to get you comfortable enough to be like, all right, Alex, after we all talk about that, how was it really in LA when you was living there?
I got the Johnson & Johnson. I'm sorry. I got it in my arm. Diddy got me. The Diddy vax. Got me with that damn Diddy vax. Can you imagine? Dude got fucked in the ass and just like gotta go get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
What will be the side effects of the Diddy vaccine?
You start shaking uncontrollably. Oh no!
You just randomly have a lollipop in your mouth at all times. It's just.
I'm thirsty. I need some Ciroc.
Every certain part of the year, you have a mohawk. Just like, why my hair falling out on the sides, but only have it in the middle? What's going on?
You don't understand, Doc. I gotta vote or die. You don't get it.
Well, again, that's a common symptom. Make sure you take 10 milligrams of this pill. What's inside? Don't worry about it.
You got the Diddy vax.
you see some dude shaking in the corner. He's like, yo, that nigga got the Diddy.
You got the Diddy vax.
You just watching somebody shaking with their hands in a rhythmic fashion. He's like, yo, that nigga got the Diddy vax. That's wild.
Get him 100 cc's of baby oil stat. He needs it now. Get him that baby oil, goddammit.
Give him stat. They got an inverted bottle of baby oil.
Yeah.
What the? They don't even got an IV. They just put it on his body. Rub it in.
Come on,
massage his nipples. Come on, do it.
We went to Costco. They're out. They don't sell it. God damn it.
We need to get a helicopter in here. This is my airdrop box of baby oil.
My bad. What were you gonna ask? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This is comedians. This is what we do. We just spiral into something. Yeah, so you've been through multiple different cultures. You
Mm-hmm.
know, obviously LA, you know, New York. You
Mm-hmm.
traveled around doing stand up. Also mentally too, in different like you know from
Yeah.
like you know the rabbit holes you've gone through with certain informations.
Yeah.
Also to this positive mindset
Uh-huh.
and stuff. What would be advice you give to your younger self after going through all the things you've gone through?
I guess the advice I could definitely say I would give my younger self is be more positive. You know, like I would say that was the biggest change in my life was, I remember, I think I used to hear people talk about all the time where they're like, your what did they say? Your attitude changes your latitude or it informs your latitude.
That sounds yeah.
I forget who says it, Kanye, something like that. But the way you think about yourself and the way you feel about things that happen determines everything. Like if you think like, let's say, I'll give you a situation that happened to me the other day. Like, so I was working somewhere where someone ended up giving me money for like working the door or our show. Someone
Hmm,
ended up giving me money or something like that for the door.
nice.
And of course, in your head, you go, "I want to keep this money. It's only $5, right?"
Hmm.
So I go like, "I should keep this money." But then I check myself and I go like, "Well, this is a mindset of scarcity. Like, oh, I need to keep this $5. I need whatever little bit I can get. I need to like a fucking rat. Like Eric Adams. You're like, I need this $5. It's $5. It means something to me.
Mine.
So I caught myself having that mindset, and then I go right away, and I go, oh my! I was like, someone gave me $5 by the way, and I forced myself to give it up because in that moment I felt myself needing it so much, and I go, I need to let go of this because this isn't healthy. And when I did that, the person was like, oh, you know what was actually crazy? I forgot when you were here last week. The person who was here didn't take their money, so I want to give you $40. So because I gave up five, I ended up getting like 35 more or
Wow.
something. And then after that, I don't know why they gave me like 20 more dollars. But that only happened, so I ended up getting like $65 or something by giving up five. And
Wow.
that only happened because I was willing to give up the five
Yeah.
and not hold on to it and be like, yeah, I need that $5.
Smart. I need it. You know.
Yeah, and that's what life is like. It's kind of like you can go further by letting go of the things that like I need this. I need to be right. I need to be whatever, and I suffer with it a lot. And that mindset change of like, what do I need?
Hmm.
Maybe I don't need these things because life is looking out for me, or whatever, like the God in me or the God in you or whatever is looking out for me,
Hmm.
or God in whatever you believe in, even if you just believe in yourself, it's like you've gotten yourself this far. So maybe it's not the $5 that got you there, it's you that got you there. So that was like an example of like the mindset. The mindset's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your attitude that was determines your latitude.
Attitude determines your latitude. And that's a dope statement right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's impactful. You know, obviously as a artist, performer, entertainer, stand up, what do you want to call it? That positivity and that scarcity mindset. I think it hits all of us in many
Yeah.
different levels. And to just realize that like, you know, something the universe, God and you just trust it and that, you know, everything will work out.
Yeah. As long as you believe that, you full heart, you believe that. I mean, some part of you I feel like has it when you first start,
Mm-hmm.
and you lose that as you go
Mm.
along. Because when you first started, you were like, I know I'm funny. 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 But you're not funny when you start. You're pretty
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
And as you start getting better at being funny, that need to prove that you are funny or the need to express that you are funny gets replaced with, well, I should get this for my funny now. And I should get that for my funny now. And when you first started, all you wanted to prove was you were funny. That was it.
Yeah.
That was all you wanted. And then it becomes something else. Like, Beyonce, all she probably wanted to do when she's a kid was sing. And then it becomes, well, I need a Grammy now. I know I can sing. I know I can do this. I need album of the year. You know what I mean? That's what happens to it. It gets like your gift or whatever gets kind of perverted. But you're the only one that can pervert it. No one else is doing it to you. It's your gift. So every now and again you got to check yourself and be like, wait a minute, am I turning myself on myself, if that makes sense? Turn my back on myself.
Yeah.
My true self, my like, the person that wanted to do this and just be good at this. What am I giving up? because I feel like I have to give it up to get validated now.
Mm.
When really the only thing you ever wanted to was probably to prove something to yourself that you could do it. And then you do it. And then now that's not enough. It's like, well, I want some pussy now. Yeah, I want some baby oil or something. You know,
Some baby oil.
Whatever the fuck.
You get one bottle. No, I want more.
Yeah, being mayor is not enough. What about $1 million? How
Huh.
about Turkish airline flights?
What about first class business?
Yeah, what about first class business? You know what I mean? Fuck these niggas in New York.
What about a hotel and a nice overlooking, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, probably for him, maybe being mayor was enough. Or, you know, being whatever, like, and it just becomes this more, you know. Some people say, like, I feel like sometimes ambition can be like makeup for men, but sometimes it can make, you know, too much makeup can make you look ugly, nigga. It makes you look like a clown, you know? So.
You need to make that to a statement. That's actually.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Don't take it. Don't take this statement. He said
Alexander, you heard it here.
He heard it here. But, bro, thank you very much for doing this. Thank you very much for talking.
Good to see you, always.
Good to see you, too. You always, man, always a good time, man. Always a good time.
I try to be.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening and or watching to the Third Culture Talk podcast. I'm your boy, Nyan Yenifin. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.